Hey guys, Dr. Kyle Loveless here. Hey, welcome to this video. Again, I'm Dr. Kyle Loveless with Queen City Health Center, and we have two clinics in the South Park and then the Matthews area within Charlotte. And I got a really cool video for you guys today. This concept of anxiety. I'm not going to talk a lot about depression, but anxiety and how it is making really ruining people's lives. It's keeping them away from living out their destiny that God has for them, from living out their purpose and really being their full selves. And it's a big, big deal. So anxiety is huge. Real quick, before I dive into the topic of anxiety and how you can make changes in the three main factors that you really need to change or really need to look at for anxiety, I'll tell you my backstory. A good portion of my life, really when I was in high school, and this was about 15 years ago, at least. Yeah. So when I was in high school 15 years ago, what actually happened is I started having anxiety, and I got anxiety from taking a medication. So I took a medication early in high school and then into college called Accutane, and it's for acne, right? And a lot of acne through high school, and I took a lot of different medications for that. And I finally ended up on this one called Accutane. And it really, what Accutane does is it torques your hormones. It really just messes up your body. It gets rid of the acne. It works. Problem is your hormones are a mess. And without hormones, you start to get anxiety. And so I started getting anxiety. I didn't want to be around people. My personality started to change. I had a lot of fear, a lot of anger. And it's really stemmed from the shift in my hormones. Well, because of that, that kind of led me into really reading a lot, researching a lot, trying to figure out what can I take, what supplements are out there, what nutritional changes can I make. And that's really all I really knew. So as I went through a process, I saw some doctors, I did some things like chiropractic care, which is super beneficial for my anxiety. But then I also changed my diet. I took things like grains out, and I'm going to talk about some of these things. However, the reason I'm telling you this is I truly understand what it feels like to be anxious. And I don't mean anxious in the moment. I mean for a period of time, like you feel like you're going to crawl out of your skin. It sucks. It's like one of the worst things you can experience, especially when it gets extreme, like panic attack mode. And so I wanted to let you know, I feel you out there, but I've also gone through it and I know what it takes to change it. Now, again, everybody's different. So I'm not saying that my case is the same as yours, but what I do know is there are some specific things that you can do to change, and it does not require a medication. We know that these medications are extremely dangerous to your body. They mess up your brain physiology. They literally like a frontal lobotomy. You know, and back in the day when they used to shock people's frontal lobes so they would get rid of their creativity, but it would also get rid of their anxiety. Well, the same thing, or in the amygdala, and the same thing happens now. They just do it with a chemical. So it's not the answer. You have homicidal tendencies, suicidal tendencies that stem from these things. Irritable bowel syndrome can come from it. Autoimmune diseases, the list goes on. So you don't want to get stuck on these medications. If you're taking them, I get it. You just want to get rid of the anxiety. Listen to what I'm about to dive into, and this will make a difference if you act on it in your life. Huge stuff I got for you today. So first thing I'm going to talk about is what is anxiety. So I got little cool note cards here I'm going to talk about today. So anxiety equals, what do you guys think anxiety actually is? Just put a comment in there, whatever you think it is. What do you think anxiety is? And I'm going to write this down here. Okay, anxiety is actually fear. Okay, it's fear of the future and what's going to happen. And it's a fear mode, and you might have nothing to be afraid of, but you still feel this anxiety. Like, I'm not afraid, I just have anxiety. It's a fear, and it might be a subconscious fear. It might also be issues with hormones that are causing you to experience the fear. Changes within your brain chemistry because of lifestyle things that you've been doing or things you come around. But it is absolutely fear. It's your body going into a fight or flight mode, producing cortisol, just like you would if a tiger jumped out at you at the zoo and started chasing you down the middle of the zoo. You would have a lot of anxiety. You would be in fear that you're about to get eaten, right? And your body creates all this chemistry, and it happens for a good reason because it's our survival mode. This is what keeps us alive. When we talk about anxiety, though, we talk about chronic anxiety where we're stuck in fear, okay? And so fear, I want to talk about that first. There's three factors. At the end of the day, there's three factors that you have to look at to start to change anxiety. Number one is going to be, okay, number one is your mindset. Okay, so first factor, number one is the mindset. What's happening in your mind? What's your perception of your reality. What are you seeing? What are you experiencing? How are you taking it? And how are you internalizing it? So I want to spend some time talking about this. This is so very important. When we get into fear mode, there is only one thing that can get rid of fear. Okay? There's one thing that casts out all fear. What do y'all think it is? What's the one thing that can cast out all fear? It's love. When you feel love, you cast out all fear. Your worries start to disappear. So I'm going to spend some time on this concept of love. And I have this little sheet here that I put together, and I use this for patients in our office that are dealing with anxiety for them to use. If you want this sheet right here, simply just message me. I'm happy to email it over. It's just a simple PDF document, and it's really good. It has affirmations, but it also has things on how you should see yourself to cast out fear with love. Okay. And so I'm just going to read some of this here that's on here. You know, when Christ died on the cross for our sins, he set us free. That is freedom. No longer are we a victim of fear, even though it can seem to want to take us over. It can seem to want to do that. We don't have to let it. It is a choice. It's a very hard choice, but it is a choice. It says here, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. That's 2 Timothy 1:7. We're not given anything of fear, but a power of love and of a sound mind. Fear wants to keep you from fulfilling your destiny. It really does, but it doesn't have to. It's your choice. You control that process. There's no fear in perfect love, but perfect love casts out all fear, because the fear has tormented. He that feareth is not perfect love. We know that perfect love is Jesus moving through us into other people. Okay, so experiencing that. Now, these are words. These sound really good. And because I've had anxiety, I know that I could read this and it might not change anything right away because it's just overtaken. Okay, time and repetition helps, but I'm going to give you something to meditate on as well. And also the concept of knowing this, that you have two options really. You can either be what's called an orphan spirit, where you have no, you know of God and you believe in God and you feel that he's there, but you just never really experienced it as a father, right? You never experienced it because of your heart being guarded from maybe experiences with your father or other people. And what that keeps you from doing is experiencing God's true love for you. And because of that, we feel empty, and it brings fear. Because remember, love, true love, perfect love casts out all fear. Well, God or Jesus is perfect love. And if we can truly experience him as a son of God, then we can actually experience true love. But it really is, if we have an orphan spirit where we feel like we're abandoned, or we see God as our punisher, or we see him as this thing up in the sky that's going to cast down a lightning bolt if we sin, then you're not going to have this pure love. But if you see the fact that Jesus Christ died on the cross for our sins, and we were saved and we were set free, and grace is true and it's alive, then you are ultimately going to feel love. And when you feel love, there's this cool study I read one time, and what they showed is that every single addiction, whether it's a drug, whether it's alcohol, whether it's pornography, whether it's overworking too hard, every single addiction fires the same receptors in your body that love does. Meaning we are addicted to love. We need it. And those receptors, that process within our body, is supposed to be fulfilled by the Father's love. It's something we're all searching for at all times. Many of us don't know we're searching for it, but that is what we're searching for. And so finding that is the key to pure love, perfect love. I'm not saying it just happened. It can just happen like that. I'm not saying it always does. However, that's the thing you need to start searching for. Find that Father's perfect love, okay? And that's cool. And then that's when you become victorious in your life. And as you become victorious, I want you to also do this. Finally, this is some more scripture here for you. Finally, brother, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent and praiseworthy, think about such things. Most of our time, if you have anxiety, is spent thinking about what is going to happen to you. And that's what fear sets in. So instead of thinking of what is going to happen, let's look at what already has happened, right? Let's look at what already has happened in our life. We were already set free. We already have a loving Father. We already have everything that we need to be powerful, to be joyful, to be loving. And it really is. It's already there. We just have to see it. We have to capture it. We have to own it. And this sheet right here really helps, in my opinion, do that. Some examples of not letting your mind be polluted to where you're thinking about negative things all the time is removing things like excessive alcohol, foods that make you lethargic, unsavory images, unsavory music and movies. Avoid the kind of people that could lead you astray and make you back into a negative mode and worry all the time. If you have friends or family members that complain all the time, get them out of your life. I don't care if they're your family, they're causing your anxiety. So you got to really spend your time away from them. And then the words that you speak. So many times, when somebody comes into our clinic, I say, hey, how are you? You know what they normally say? I'm amazing. No, they don't say that. You know what they usually say? Fine. Or it's okay. Or I'm making it. Or I can't complain. I mean, come on. Think about how you speak. The words you speak. Words are life, and what you say, power in the tongue, really does matter. So that's my mindset for you guys. And I think that is super powerful because it casts out all fear. Love casts out all fear. It's not a simple concept. It is a simple concept. It's not always simple to master, but you have to start somewhere, and that is the truth. Okay, so the next thing on mindset is doing things like meditation, deep breathing are very good. So meditation, I don't mean you have to sit with your legs crossed, holding your pinkies and your thumb together and trying to get to a place of nowhere, right? That's not what I'm saying. But what you want to do is get to a place where you're quiet, you can relax, and I want you to take deep breath, close your eyes, get to a place where no one's watching you so you're not uncomfortable. Close your eyes, and I want you to take deep breaths in, maybe about 4 to 5 seconds in. Take a deep, or hold that breath for about 7 seconds. And then from there, you're going to breathe out for about 8 seconds. This is called 4-7-8 breathing. And while you're doing that breathing, I want you to meditate on your breathing. Now, prayer is good. All these things are good. I want you to just focus on your breathing, okay? Because when you're praying, you're still thinking. Just focus on what the oxygen is doing to your body, how it's distributing through your lungs, how it's distributing through your body, and then that CO2 after it's converted to CO2 coming out of your lungs and out of your mouth, and you're exhaling and you're inhaling, and just focus on that. And you can do that for anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, and you can do it longer, but 5 minutes is all it really takes to get yourself back into a parasympathetic state, which is out of fight or flight mode, which is what causes anxiety. Fight or flight mode is anxiety. Okay. Okay, so that is meditation and deep breathing. Really good stuff. This is all science-based, so I'm not just throwing things out. This stuff really is proven to work through studies. The next one on mindset is EFT, emotional free technique. Not going to spend a lot of time on it today, but what you can do is go on to YouTube and say emotional free technique. Put this in, emotional free technique and anxiety. And there's tapping techniques you can do that can help calm the nervous system. The next one is affirmations and thanksgiving. A daily, write your affirmations out. How does God see you, right? What I just read to you, those scriptures, looking over them every single day, reading them every single day, and then giving thanksgiving. I talked about this concept of an orphan and a son of God. The Son of God serves simply out of thanksgiving for what God has given him, right? He's thankful for what God has given him, and so he serves out of thanksgiving. Pretty cool stuff. Really cool stuff. So, okay, so that is the mindset stuff. Okay. Now, the final thing, oops, you know what I just realized? Let me see. I don't know if this is messing me up or not, but I didn't even have my mic on. So hopefully you guys heard half of what I said there, but there we go. Okay, so the next step is on that mindset. The final thing on mindset is focus on what you can control, not what you can't. When you start focusing on the news and things that are happening in a world that you don't have any control over, you're going to create a lot of anxiety because you have no control. But when you start focusing on, I can do this, I can do that, I can control certain things in my life, you're going to see control, and in return, you don't have fear. So that's a big one too. All right, next up, number 2 is spinal movement and exercise. Okay, your key to life, 90% of the stimulation and nutrition to your brain comes from spinal movement, the movement of your spine. Because we sit 80 to 90% of our day, we don't get our spine moving. And in return, our nervous system starts to shut down, our brain starts to shut down, and we become, we're just sitting around, and over time that builds anxiety because it puts your body into a stress response, which is, again, the fight or flight mode. Even though you're sitting, it creates stress. So when your spine doesn't move, it creates a stress response that can create anxiety. Specifically, patients that come in with anxiety typically have upper cervical neck issues, and with just adjusting and getting their spine moving again, anxiety can go away. And all these other things I'm going to talk about are very important, but I'll be completely honest with you. Most patients that come into our office, it's hard for me to get them to do the rest, but they'll lay it on the table and I can adjust their atlas and their anxiety will disappear within months. True story. The next one is exercise. So first one is, get rid of prolonged sitting. So make sure you're not just moving, not just sitting all day. Find ways to do that. If you want to know how to get rid of prolonged sitting, simply scroll down on the Facebook page and you will see that I just shot a video on sitting. Okay, so it tells you how to get rid of it. The next one here is get chiropractic care, and it's a minimum of bi-weekly adjustments. Minimum meaning for real wellness, for you to maintain a spinal structure or spinal movement and structure. The research has shown that it takes anything less than every other week is almost like wasting your time. I run into people all the time say, I go to the chiropractor, I go every other month, or I go once a month. It's not doing what you think it's doing via the research, because we've actually, in the Journal of Manipulation Therapy, it actually showed that anything less than every other week is almost like not doing anything at all. So chiropractic care is super important. Highly recommend doing that. If you need help finding a chiropractor, let me know. Obviously, if you're in the Charlotte area, come see us at Queen City Health Center. The next thing is, along with exercise, is do movement exercises, things like yoga, Pilates, bar classes. There's so many different things out there. Super important for getting your body moving throughout the day. Next one is exercise-wise. High intensity, short duration exercise is key. Not years on the treadmill. That increases stress and that causes more anxiety over time. I'm talking about 15 to 20 minutes max of high intensity, short duration exercise. I wrote here on the bottom what you do. You do 20 seconds on as hard as you can, 20 seconds off, 20 seconds on as hard as you can, 20 seconds off, 20 seconds on, and then you do a 2-minute break. You do that 2 more sets of that, and that is your workout. And it could be running in place, it could be sprints. Hey, go on YouTube, you'll find plenty of videos. Actually, Dr. Holly has a great video on our website. If you go to our blog on our website, you can see her teaching you how to do high intensity exercise. Valuable stuff. The next one, everybody loves this one, food, nutrition, right? Making sure you get enough water, and then removing chemicals. Okay, that's the number 3 factor you have to look at with anxiety. This is fun for me, at least. I don't know if it is for y'all. Hey, if you like this, please share it. This really is good stuff. It can help people. Leave me some comments. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me what, if you have something that helped you with anxiety, put it below, okay? Medications don't count. That's cheating. Don't take that the wrong way. Okay, so the first thing with nutrition is you got to remove bad fats, remove sugars and grains, because these cause inflammation in your body and they mess up your hormones, and then remove preservative chemicals and what I put, food dyes. Okay, so any kind of chemical is going to alter the chemistry of your body, and you're going to start to see anxiety from it. One of the worst foods out there is Skittles, because you have chemicals, food dyes, sugar, you have bad fats, you have everything in one. So if you have kids that have ADD or ADHD or anxiety, get them away from candy. Okay, the next one is replace the good fats, bad fats with good fats. Eat tons of vegetables, lots of good healthy vegetables. Grass-fed, free-range, organic meats is key. Lots of eggs are amazing for your brain health. And then local and organic, okay? And so I might have gone fast through this last nutritional part, but here's the truth. There's so many things you can, there's so much to talk about when it comes to nutrition. I want to give you the pointers, the key steps to start moving in the right direction. Now, supplements, there's a lot of supplements you can take. Magnesium is great for anxiety, but there's a lot of things that could be not getting enough healthy fats. So you can take a fat supplement like fish oil. There's a lot of things out there. But for now, know that these are the first steps. Remove the bad fats and the sugars and the grains and add the good fats in. And then finally, remove the chemicals and the toxins from your food and tons of green leafy vegetables. That's where your body creates glutathione from, which is your body's strongest antioxidant. And finally, guess what, guys? You got this. You got this. You just got to take the time and put the time in. And it could take months. It could take years. I don't know. Everybody's different. But do it all. Start to put it together. And end of the day, you're going to start to see anxiety go away. I don't guarantee anything. Not God. But this is a good start for you. You guys have an awesome day. Like this, love it, share it, and give me some comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me what I can do differently, or maybe something you tried with anxiety that helped you. You guys have an awesome day.